Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about Mr. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. Now, if you are an Indian and if you are invested in stock market, then there is a very high chance that you know who Rakesh Jhunjhunwala is. Pretty much everybody and anybody in India who does something related to stocks know this name. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala was born in Hyderabad and he spent most of his life in Mumbai, and he passed away in Mumbai a couple of years ago. And he was a billionaire, multi-billionaire, and at the time of his death or before he died, he had planned to give 25% of his net worth in charity. And he's a classic rags to riches story, Mr. Jhunjhunwala. He is an investor, he's a stock trader, and he was also a chartered accountant by profession. And when he passed away, his net worth was $5.8 billion. And like I said before, he passed away in 2022 and he was born in 1960. Now, why do I talk about Rakesh Jhunjhunwala today? The reason is that I watch a lot of videos of another Indian American called Monish Pabrai. If you haven't heard his name, then just search Monish Pabrai in YouTube and you will be amazed at the amount of lectures and videos he has contributed to YouTube regarding finance, and you can watch for hours and hours and hours. Monish Pabrai is an Indian American businessman, investor and philanthropist. And I was watching Mr. Pabrai's one of the videos and he talks about Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. And that is the reason for me to make this video. So like I said, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala started with nothing, right? And he died with billions. So it's a classic rags to riches story. And he also did day trading before Mr. Jhunjhunwala, and he also did some long-term investments. But one of the investments that Mr. Pabrai talked about is very interesting. It is the investment in a company called Titan. Now we all know Titan, right? Tata Titan. They make jewelries and watches. But right now I think it's mostly jewelries. I myself have bought gold chain from Titan, and excellent customer service, excellent quality. And Titan means bharosa or trust. You buy from there, they give you some certificate also, and you are guaranteed that the material is authentic. And in the business of gold, if you're an Indian, you know trust is very important. So Mr. Jhunjhunwala 30 years ago invested 4% of his net worth in Titan. Now, we don't know what his net worth was 30 years ago, but whatever it was, he invested 4% of his net worth in Titan, and he never touched it. He never touched it for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. And that investment turned into like a couple of $1 billion. So just one investment that Mr. Jhunjhunwala made in Titan equaled to 50% of his net worth, which is amazing. Just one investment. So sometimes in life, you don't have to be correct all the time. If you are correct just one time or two times, that is good enough, right? Imagine, the stock of Nvidia, right? Imagine if somebody bought Nvidia just 15 years ago, he's an automatic millionaire, right? If you had put like $10,000 in Nvidia just 15 years ago, not 30 years ago, there is no need for that person to work ever in his life. But again, it's very hard to pick a stock. I don't know how Rakesh Jhunjhunwala decided to invest money in Titan and not touch it. But this is what he did, and that resulted into a couple of $1 billion in 30 years. So what I'm thinking is that the moral of the story is that even Mr. Jhunjhunwala, who is a day trader, he does a lot of trading, he also believes in long-term investment. And long-term investment consisted majority of his net worth. So he might have made initial money by day trading and all, but eventually if you look at his net worth, vast majority of his net worth is because he invested in blue chip companies and never touched it for decades and decades and decades and let that money compound. And the problem with compounding is that we try to interrupt it. That is why I like this quote from Charlie Munger, that the first rule of compounding is never interrupt it unnecessary. You put your money and you let it grow for decades and decades, right? The problem happens when we try to time the market, when we try to adjust our percentages, when we try to pull it out, then again invest it back. And if you do that, you are interrupting the process of compounding. It is almost like you have a cake in the oven and you set the oven for 60 minutes. And what happens if you keep on opening the door of the oven every 10 minutes, right? The cake is not going to come out well. Investing is like similar to that. And I'm from Gujarat and I personally know a lot of people who owns shares of Reliance, Colgate, Tata Chemicals, like in 60s, 70s and 80s. And they have not touched it for last 20, 25, 30 years. And all of them are crorepati. They just buy the stock and just don't touch it. And the stock keeps on compounding. The company keeps on making profit. The stock keeps on growing up. Every few years, the company issues rights issues. They participate in the rights issues. Every few years, company gives bonus. They accept the bonus. So the price of the stock increases. The number of shares they own also increases because of rights issues and bonus issues. And voila, after 20, 30 years, they all are worth like 1 crore, 2 crore, 3 crores. And back in the days, it was hard to invest because how do you pick a blue chip company? You don't know. You cannot predict what Reliance Industries is going to do in 1995, for example. But today it is even more easier because now we have a lot of mutual funds, and mutual funds gives us an opportunity to diversify our stock, do the systematic investment plan, and with very little risk, try to accumulate significant net worth by the time you retire. And since we are talking about compounding, it is good to go through the rule of 72 again. So the rule of 72 is very simple. If your investment is giving let's say 7.2% interest, then you just divide that interest rate. You divide 72 by that interest rate, and that means number of years your money will double. So for example, if you put money at fixed deposit 10%, then 72 divided by 10. So every 7.2 years, your money will double. And if somebody puts their money in fixed deposit giving 7.2% interest, for example, then 72 divided by 7.2 is 10 years. So every 10 years, the money will double. I just looked it up. Nifty 50 has given 12% CAGR forever for last 30 years. So which means if you put money in Nifty 50, 72 divided by 12 is 6. So every 6 years, your money will double. So now imagine a kid who is 22 years old, right? And if 22 to 64 is 42 years. So if you divide 42 by 6, you get 7. 7, 6 are 42. Which means the money will double 7 times if the kid invests in Nifty 50. So now if somebody at the age of 22 puts 1 lakh rupees in Nifty 50, then that 1 lakh rupee will double 7 times when he becomes 64 years old. So if I double 1 lakh rupees 7 times, 1 lakh becomes 2 lakhs in 7 years, 4 lakh in another 7 years, 8, 16, 32, 64, and 1.28 crores. So you put 1 lakh rupees at the age of 22, you will get 1.28 crore at the age 64. Now when the kid becomes 23-year-old, if he again puts 1 lakh rupees in Nifty 50, Then at the age of 65, that second 1 lakh will become 1.28 crores. And then at the age of 24, he can put another 1 lakh. At the age of 25, he can put another 1 lakh. And you can imagine how much money he will have when he retires. Crores and crores of rupees. But the only condition is you cannot interrupt the process of compounding. Once you put money in Nifty 50, you forget about it for 30 years, 40 years. And the reason I took the example of a 22-year-old is that compounding only works when you have time. Once you are like 40s, and if you understand compounding, it is useless. And Mr. Pabrai's favorite quote, he loves to say this, that we get wiser too late and older too fast. By the time we realize the power of compounding, we are in our 40s and it is too late. And when we can take advantage of compounding at the age of 22, we are young, we think we are invincible, and we don't want to listen to anybody. So this is the tragedy. So if you are a 22-year-old kid listening to this video, you can change your life by just following the simple process of compounding. That's all for today. Just wanted to talk about Rakesh Jhunjhunwala ji and Monish Pabrai. And if you are into financing and if you are in investment, please search Monish Pabrai on YouTube and enjoy all his talk. You will be fascinated and you will learn a lot. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Bye-bye.